I always felt like Diddy, when, well, we call him Diddy now, back then Puff,
Right.
I felt like, because there were other footages that came out where, like, I remember, you know, he talked shit. He would just be like, yo, y'all got Eness the monster, like he'll take your head off. Like
sure.
he would always kind of position you as, this is a guy who will show you the talent in rap. So I always thought, even if the band, because the concept of, like, we don't even see hip hop groups nowadays.
Fun fact, they had all the members of the group. Not until I came back and re-auditioned and made the group, they already had all the members already. They came back for me specifically. They didn't think that they had enough talent to move forward with the competition. I got picked out first out of 40,000 auditioners.
Jesus.
And I auditioned twice. So being with that said, Puff seen a lot of leadership qualities in me. I was 25 at the time. Me and Sarah was the oldest. That's why, like, I dropped Eness and Friends album maybe like 2 years ago to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Making the Band album. Got Benny the Butcher on there, Freeway, Beanie Siegel, Vado, Corey Gunn, Zai Sosa. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Got everybody on there. But make a long story short, we ended up selling 500,000 records. We was on all the memorable shit that you would want to be on around the early 2000s, mid 2000s. The Rap City BETs, the Basements with Tiggers, the On the Couch with 106 and Park with Terrence and Roxy and shit like that. We got to do Soul Train with Don Cornelius was still alive. You know what I'm saying? We got to do The View with Barbara Walters and Star Jones. We got to do the Source Awards, one of the last recorded Source Awards.
Hey, by the way, I was such a huge fan, not of only the story, but the music too. Mm-hmm. I was, and you're going to have to explain to me what happened afterwards, because you're right. You guys sold, like, first of all, that would be like crazy amount of numbers now.
Right.
But what you guys sold then, I remember even seeing the video, Bad Boy this and Bad Boy that, Bad Boy reaching out with a baseball, and all y'all went crazy.
We ended up selling 225. It was the egos that played a major part in the group's dismantling, because we would miss, certain people would miss flights, miss certain meetings, and at the end of the day, Puffy just found a way to, you know, for everybody to, you know what I mean, just back out of the deal. So, you know, me, Babs, and Chopper was selected to stay for a probationary period. And a lot of people don't know. They think, well, he jerked y'all around. I ended up getting a second deal on Warner Music Atlanta Group in 2006. Really? So from 2006 up until 2009, I was recording for a solo deal. And that's when battle rap started coming back in. That's when I ended up battling the Mic Sign. And that was my resurgence and my reintroduction to the battle rap realm.
Wow. Man,
there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, no, like the group to me was great. I loved all y'all for what y'all, like. I thought Chopper was always slick. I thought he was dope. Rapping. I thought Freddie P was raw, and I always thought you had them bars. You know what I mean? I think Babs was just a fucking, you know, like, she was the epitome of like a gritty New York chick who really give it up. You know what I mean? Same energy you would get from a Remy Ma.
We was like, I would say, like a little X-Men Avengers type of thing. We all had our little superpowers. We all had our strengths. We all had weaknesses.
So how are you taking this when you know, again, this is starting to unravel now?
Yeah.
Because, okay, there's egos coming in. I've always just heard this where it's like, you know, once you kind of get on a little bit, now you're like,
Groups never last long. We look back on hip-hop, groups never last long. EPMD, Wu-Tang, Outkast, Goody Mob. Look at all the iconic groups that never lasted over the span of 4 or 5 albums.
You know, publicly, people look at it and say, really, this group was just a way for Puff to embarrass people. They remember the cheesecake moment, and they're like, of course it wasn't gonna last. These guys weren't really treated or portrayed as these artists that people should respect. So, of course, you know, all there, like, there's a moment on the show, I kid you not, I always say this is an epic moment in reality TV history. This is when you realize Puff is something else. That nigga came in and they told us, say, yeah, they can't use the studio right now, there's a fight. And then he looked around.
Who won?
And he said, oh, who won?
That's real nigga shit, though.
and then
but I'm a Scorpio. Puff a Scorpio too. So that's some shit I would say. So,
yeah, but what he said afterwards was crazy. He said, listen, man.
We got some shit to bring back.
He said, man, they got all type of technology. And he said, never stop recording.
Never stop recording.
They got all type of shit that'll bring a motherfucker back to life.
And I learned that day, they don't give a fuck about you or your talent. You're just somebody that's sitting in the slot. And if you don't maximize that slot that you got, they're gonna replace you and fill your slot, no Diddy, with somebody else.
Yeah. but in those moments, are you feeling, and even afterwards, you know, listen, we'll talk about, you know, Diddy and some other stuff, but like, I'm telling you, I used to be such a huge fan of this fucking show. Okay.
What was it about it? Because from the consumer, because we was inside. What was it about it?
It didn't feel like production.
The authenticity.
It felt like we were watching some actual niggas that had talent, but were going through real life shit.
But that's what I'm saying. The energy coming off this show, the hip hop culture didn't receive this. They perceived this as underprivileged or people that wasn't appreciative of their opportunity that was given to them. Some people, it was conflicted. Some people thought we got jerked over, and some people think we didn't work hard enough for the opportunity that was given to us.
What did you think? Because I think some people will look back, and maybe because of the reality show aspect, they're like, nah, they were kind of exploited. Because they look at rappers now, and they don't have to do that, you know.
We were exploited, but the game is always lopsided. Artists are always going to be at a disadvantage. It's not, the music industry is not designed for the artist to win. You only win is when you become a business owner, when you develop your own artists, and you know, I mean, kind of run your own company. Being an artist, you always at the lowest level of the game. That's why I'm independent and always been independent. Even when I was on a major, I always took their money and dumped it back into myself and invested back into myself. I just love rapping. I just love hip hop. I'm like you. I'm a hip hop purist. I watched it all the way from the beat streets, the house parties, all the way up into now. To NY drill,
the MTV raps,
drill.
everything.
You know
hey, that's so. What you just said is like so important. Yeah. But it's sad though, right? Because
it is sad.
What I believe that the majority of consumers believe is that what they're watching with rappers is that the rappers is at the highest totem pole, and that the executive for the rapper works for the rapper, and you know the rapper gets 90% and everybody else, you know, gets the 10%, and after you go through the process, you realize no, it's actually opposite.
I think people understood what was going on. I think people like, as far as I'm concerned, me being in it, I understood because I was already 25, and this shit was my salvation. Because what was waiting back in Philly for me was just jail time. So I was like,
you was just doing street shit. Why'd you even go to jail?
I mean, I had a drug charge. Just coming from Philly, coming from single parent home and coming from public housing, trying to keep up with the Joneses, quote unquote. Yeah. You just end up and falling into those pitfalls, selling drugs and doing the wrong shit, even though I started off with an academic career, going to an academic college preparatory school. You just fall into that peer pressure, trying to fit in and be accepted by your peers.
Wow.
So even though I was a nerd in school, I was coming back to the projects trying to be a thug and trying to be a gangster, end up selling drugs and end up getting caught for it.
Wow.
And it followed me.